Khash Saghafi, Liberty Home Mortgage, and this is a series on my favorite topics, okay? This is part one of the 3 things it takes to get a mortgage loan. I've done this before, but I'm telling you right now, I need to do it 100,000 times over because people need to hear this over and over and over and over, okay? The 3 things it takes to get a loan. Number 1, credit, okay? Here's what I tell people. It takes 3 things to get a loan, okay? In the United States, it doesn't matter what state you're in. It doesn't matter who the lender is. There's 3 basic parts to getting a loan: credit, income, and money. What I'm going to talk about right now is credit, okay? Listen to these words and memorize them. And if you're a loan officer, memorize this because it'll help you educate your customers and they'll more than likely go with you. Credit. Credit determines if you can even get a loan. Listen to what I'm saying. Credit determines if you can even get a loan, all right? There's 2 parts to credit, and write this stuff down. If you're watching at home, write this down, okay? There's 2 parts to credit. You want to write it down. Credit, and then break it up with 2 little arrows. With one of them, it's the credit score, okay? And the second thing is the credit history, all right? It's the credit score and the credit history. So let's start with the credit score. The score is the number that's given to you when a lender pulls for your score. Scores go from, I want to say it's like 300 to 850. The lowest score I've ever seen was 413, 413. That's the lowest credit score I've ever seen, and that was in February of 2002. If you're sitting here watching saying, February of 2002, how old is this guy? Well, at the time of this recording, I'm 50, the big 50, okay? That was February 2002, 413, lowest credit score I've ever seen. With that credit score, there has not been a day in this industry that I could have given that person a loan based on that score, okay? Some people are 800, some people are 700, some people are 570 and 650 and 640 and 713, whatever. It's the physical score. Now, I always tell people this. Just because you have a high score doesn't mean you get the loan. And just because you have a low score doesn't mean you don't get the loan. The score is not the only determining factor of getting a mortgage. It's a big factor, but it's not the only factor. And when it comes to credit, it's one of 2 factors. So one is the credit score, one is the credit history. When it comes to credit history is, or it's your trade lines, your Citibank credit card, your Visa, your MasterCard, your auto loan. It's all of that stuff, okay? The credit lines, we look at how well you've paid them. A big determining factor of your credit score is your credit history, specifically your payment history, how well you pay your bills. Are you 30 days late? Are you 60? Are you 90? I don't care if you're 29 days late on everything in your life. If you're 29 days late, you will have perfect credit with no issues. So when it comes to the credit history, these are the individual trade lines. These are the judgments, bankruptcies, collections, foreclosures, negative items. So when I talk about your actual credit, that's what I'm talking about. How many lines of credit do you have? How many credit cards do you have? How many times have you been late on a bill? I will tell you, I can give you example after example after example where one late payment dropped somebody's score over 100 points. And I've had examples where removing, well, I had one person remove 11 collections from his credit. He removed 11. His score went up 131 points from 529 to 660. At the end of the day, we look at everything in total to see exactly what is happening, what it is, and what you're looking at, okay? And that's the credit history side of it. So when it comes to credit, remember this, it takes 3 things to get a mortgage loan: credit, income, and money, okay? Credit determines if you can even get a loan. Credit is broken down into 2 parts: the credit score and the credit history. The score is the physical number. The history are the individual trade lines with How well are they paid? Do you have any late payments? Do you have any collections? How many negative items are there? Do you have any public records? In public records, we have bankruptcies and foreclosures and judgments and things like that. Some people have child support. If they're behind on it, it shows up on their credit. That's the credit history. This is part 1 of 3 in my series, but you gotta follow through on part 2 and 3. And it's easiest if you're subscribed to my page, you like, comment, share, and all this other stuff.